Hi, I'm Ken, and you're watching Zeke's Miata channel.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Zeke's Miata channel. Welcome to my office, new venue. And I know there's a few things that are just going to fly right off the bat. One being, what happened to your beard? Well, I washed it and it shrank. No, not really. I just got tired of it and shaved it off. Second question, what happened to your glasses? I took them off because they create a lot of glare. Today's video is called The Magical Forest Drive. In my Alicia's first drive video, I made a comment about how I would love to see other members of our club step up and host drives. And Alicia was one of the people who did. So another guy, his name is Ken, he stepped up and he did this drive called The Magical Forest Drive, which was anything but magical for me. I had fun part of the day, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's jump into it and get started. We started the day just like any other drive. We all met up at a parking lot in Tumwater, Washington. Of course, Alicia showed up and brought brownies for everybody, which were awesome. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. We started the morning with a leisurely drive and some fun twisties. For some reason, I just felt like there was something off about my car. It just didn't seem right. Just had this gut feeling there was something not right with it that day. But I thought this is just me being paranoid, so I pushed that aside. At one point, we passed through the city of Denny. We headed south through some forest land and some fun curves. And we also passed the Centralia Big Hannaford power plant, which is the last coal-fired plant still operating in the state of Washington. It's currently scheduled to be shut down by the end of 2025. The plan is to reclaim this land and return it back to natural forests and wetlands. After we passed the plant, we went down a really fun, twisty road, and I had a great time going through this part. When we got to the end, the original plan was to go left and finish up the drive. But we made a command decision to take a right and head towards Rainier, where we'd take a break and get some lunch. And it was shortly after that right turn that it happened. Suddenly I heard a clunk, my check engine light came on, and my car died, and I coasted to a stop on the side of the road. I radioed to Ken that my car was dead, and several others stayed behind to help out to see if we could get my car back on the road. And it was then that I realized that my gut feeling in the morning was pretty much on the mark. Throughout the day, there had been a couple times where I heard sounds that I thought were like a rock hitting my car. And I would soon realize those weren't rocks. All right, so looks like I'm stuck here. As you can see, I've thrown both belts, sheared the bolts off of the crank pulley, and I am hard down. So we're gonna go see if we can get a tow strap and tow it into town. So
that's the good news. Yeah.
This is the good news.
This is the good news. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I knew they would. Look where we are. Alex and I jumped into his car and we headed into Tenino to buy some supplies. We had no tools with us or anything, so I bought a whole bunch of tools and a tow strap and all the supplies that we thought we needed to get my car back on the road. Once we returned, we found out from the others who stayed behind to keep an eye on the car that we just happened to break down in front of the home of a car guy. And he had a nice 3-bay shop with plenty of room, plenty of tools, and he offered to let us bring my car into his shop and work on it. So we rolled the car into the garage and we started working.
That's the one thing I can't do.
The vice grip isn't getting enough bite on it, or?
Well, this, come take a look here.
The one on the right there,
So
the one on that side.
the one on the bottom down there,
Bottom right, okay.
yeah, I don't know if you got enough to grab onto, but I'm trying to grab onto them, but I'm not able to turn it. We worked on it for about an hour and a half before we decided it just wasn't going to happen. We are accepting defeat here. I've got 4 bolts sheared off on the crank pulley, and we can't get them out. So I'm going to have to take it somewhere to where I'm going to be able to get it out. So to be continued. Once we decided we were going to give up, we had to think about how we were going to get my car home. And it was 75 miles from where we were to my home in Seattle. So earlier in the video, there was a red car behind me, and that car was driven by a guy named Lou, who lived in Tacoma, and he had a space where I could park my car for a few days. So we opted to have it towed to his place. Now, I requested a flatbed, but this is the tow truck that showed up. Notice how far my tires hang down out of that cradle that it's holding up the rear of the car. Also notice in this video here how low the rear end of the car is sitting to the ground. And I also want you to pay particular attention to the front of the car and notice that you'll see puffs of white smoke going by every now and then. Alex and I saw these puffs of smoke and we thought it was the tow truck. So we didn't really think anything of it. We towed the car back to Lou's place, parked it, put a cover on it, and I came back to work on it later. It was when I came back to look at it that we discovered what the source of that white smoke was. And the source of it was my rear tires. Here's a picture of the passenger side tire, which you see has a very nice flat spot worn in it. But you'll notice that the smoke was mainly coming from the driver's side. Here is the driver's side tire, which was worn down to the cords from dragging on the pavement for 30 miles. Now, before you get out your pitchforks and go after the towing company, just have it be known that I called the tow truck company and I let them know that this happened. I presented them with photos and video of it happening so that they could see it was legit, and they paid for a new set of tires for me. So please, no pitchforks, don't go after them. They were totally on the level, and they didn't argue with it at all. They just paid it, and everything was good, and I bought a new set of tires, so good to go. So once I'd been able to order parts, I went back to Lou's, and I put my car back together, and we got it running, and I drove it home. Here's some video of it running right after I started it up for the first time. So it all worked out in the end. It didn't really cost me that much to fix the car, just the tow truck and some parts and some of my time. And the frustration of dealing with everything, which wasn't really all that bad, all things considered. And since this is the Magical Forest Drive, I guess we can end this with, and they all lived happily ever after. Thanks for tuning in today. And if you enjoyed this content, please like the video and help me spread it around. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Share it with your friends. Anyway, I hope to see you next time. Have a good one.